Hey Exoticals, so I wanted to make this video about how I don't see pretty privileged, unambiguous monoracial black women complaining about how colorism, texturism, and featureism blocks their dating options. Has anyone else noticed that? Like, if an unambiguous woman is drop dead gorgeous, she has pretty privilege, I don't see her complaining online about how nobody wants me because I have this skin tone. Nobody wants me because of my hair texture. Nobody wants me because of my facial features. No. The women who are pretty privileged, regardless of their skin tone, regardless of their race, they're out there living their best lives. And you know what? I actually thought about that Gorilla Glue lady. She is unambiguous. I think she like wears contacts or whatever. She's from either New Orleans or somewhere like that. So she, in my opinion, definitely has pretty privilege. That's why she was online, like doing her hair or whatever. She was able to take putting Gorilla Glue on her head and make her bags off of that and become a legit influencer. Now, apparently, she's dating some new guy and she's about to get married soon. So I don't see unambiguous women who are monoracial. I don't see them online complaining, saying, "Oh my God, like my skin tone holds me back. Oh my gosh, my hair texture, my facial features, they're holding me back." No, people use things like colorism, texturism, featureism, and anti-blackness so that they can hide behind it and kind of mask their own failures. And I'm not saying that those things don't exist. I'm not saying that people can't be racist or whatever, but sometimes I've just noticed that people they don't want to face the fact that they didn't use their resources to the best of their ability. They don't want to face the fact that they didn't properly privilege stack. Because, yes, I actually do believe that there is a such thing as black privilege. I believe that black privilege is something that can be utilized if you live in a predominantly black area. So, for example, let's say you're an unambiguous person and you live in the continent of Africa, or you live in a place where most of the other people are unambiguous. You absolutely have a privilege in that community because you are surrounded by people who look like you are surrounded by people who want to see you succeed or people who can relate to you on a higher level. So I actually believe that there are many different privileges that can be used at any given time to help you succeed. And this is why we see a lot of unambiguous rappers kind of like on the come up right now because they were able to use their black culture and their black phenotype to their advantage because it makes them relatable to their audience. I think of women like JT from the City Girls. You know what I mean? JT, she didn't allow her phenotype to hold her back. She didn't say, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to try being a rapper because, nobody's going to like me, nobody's going to want me, all the other rappers, they don't look like me." No, she said, "Fuck that. I'm pretty too. I'm talented too, and I'm going to get my bags as well." And so this is why sometimes when I make these videos, it may come off like I have no empathy or whatever. And it's not that I have no empathy, it's just that I personally believe that African Americans in particular are some of the most privileged people in the world. I don't care what your skin tone is. I don't care if you're mixed or not. I don't care what your hair texture is. The fact that you are even an American, that is extremely, like, there are people that would kill. There are literally people that are risking their lives and getting killed just to be in your position. To be honest, if I had to choose between being an unambiguous, monoracial, dark-skinned black woman born in the ghettos of the worst hoods of America versus being born in some of the worst neighborhoods and villages in third world countries, I gotta be honest, I would choose to still be born in this country. And I'm not trying to say it like, oh, slavery was good or that all that stuff was good. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that I do believe that most people have certain privileges and they don't realize that it's a privilege and they don't know how to utilize those privileges to their advantage. So I do believe that there are some people who have the mindset of a builder, they have the mindset of growth, they have a mindset of leveling up, and then there are other people who have that victim mentality, the people who they like to wallow in their sadness, they like to spend all of their time ruminating on what they don't have, kind of like Kelly Rowland, as opposed to celebrating the fact that you're a freaking superstar, that you look great, that you're a 10, that you can have anything you want, and that the world is at your feet. That's what I would be doing if I were Kelly Rowland. I would be in the studio, I'd be making music, I'd be traveling the world, I would be celebrating whatever I have. I'd be celebrating my millions, I would be enjoying my life and just, enjoying my pretty privilege or whatever. That's what I would be doing. So I just feel like the life that you live, it's all about perspective. And like I said, I'm not saying that people can't discriminate against you or that racism and stuff like that doesn't exist. But I am saying that it doesn't have to define your entire experience. And also, I wanted to share a story about this one unambiguous girl that I knew from my old job. So she was unambiguous, monoracial, dark skin with 4C hair and broad features. And she started working at my job. By the way, she was very pretty. She was pretty privileged. So she started working at my job, and the white girls that worked at my job, they were nurses. So I used to work at a medical center, and this girl, she was a medical assistant. So the white ladies that were like ugly, they were jealous of this new girl that started working at the job, this new unambiguous girl, because she was pretty, she had her makeup done, she would do like different wigs and stuff, and she was just very jovial and very happy all the time and always had a positive personality. So I noticed that people immediately started gunning for her, and they started gossiping about her. So one of the ladies at my job, she was a white lady, she found out that this girl had 5 kids and that she had multiple baby daddies. And so this white lady, she went around the office telling everybody in the medical center about how this girl had multiple baby daddies. And then this other white girl added her on Facebook. And one day this unambiguous girl called out of work, and she was like, doing her own thing. She wasn't actually sick, and she called out of work, and then she posted photos on Facebook of her kind of like enjoying herself. And then this person showed the Facebook photos to the manager, and this unambiguous girl, she got written up after that because they were literally gunning for her. So some people would call that racism. I actually do not believe that it was racism. I believe it was 100% pure jealousy. Those white people were jealous that this black girl was like looking good. She had pretty privilege. She was moving up in the medical center. She had a positive attitude. She was slaying. She didn't care about what anybody thought about her. She was confident. I think that these people were straight up jealous. Yes, it is possible for a non-black woman to be jealous of a black woman. I don't know why in the black women empowerment space they think that everyone that doesn't like them is automatically racist or colorist. That's not the case. People can be jealous of your beauty, no matter what your skin tone is. I don't know why a lot of unambiguous black women believe that like nobody can possibly be jealous of their beauty. No, this is what I truly believe about these Karens at my job versus this unambiguous black girl, because she had like a nice body and everything. So anyway, long story short, this unambiguous girl, she started crying or whatever after work. Like somebody was like, oh, how do you like your new job? And then she started crying saying like, nobody likes me here. Everyone's mean to me. Everybody's rude or whatever. And nobody felt sorry for her when she was crying. Like people didn't have empathy towards her. Obviously I had empathy towards her, but the other people, they didn't have empathy towards her because they were so jealous of her. So even though she cried, she didn't allow this to stop her. So she literally, on the weekends, she started to do Instacart. So Instacart is where you can like deliver groceries and stuff. And back then they had some sort of bonus where like if you refer a friend or something, you can get paid an extra bonus. And long story short, she ended up making $1,100 in one weekend by doing Instacart. And by the way, she was a single mom of 5 kids. So some of the kids, she was able to get a family member to watch them. And then the smaller kids who had to be in the car seats, she literally would drive around and do her second job, Instacart. She would do that with her children in the back seat. Now, I don't know how long you can like leave kids in the car when you're shopping and stuff, but she ended up doing it. And she ended up getting her bags, and she was able to quit the job. Working at the same place where I worked, she was able to quit that job and use that additional Instacart money to kind of hold her over while she leveled up to a better job. She was able to get a better job that was closer to where she lived, and she ended up doing like influencing on the side. So like making her own Facebook groups, doing stuff on Instagram, and being able to get her other money from doing Instacart. That, in my opinion, is social climbing. So anybody can social climb, anybody can privilege stack. You just have to be aware of what your actual privileges are. You have to know how to be smart and strategic. This girl, who was unambiguous, she didn't allow her skin tone or facial features or her hair texture to hold her back from getting her bags. She still did what she wanted to do. She may have made a mistake by posting herself living her best life on Facebook and adding people. This is why I am a big proponent of secrecy. I don't add my coworkers onto my social media because what I do outside of work is none of their business. But this girl was still able to social climb because she didn't make her phenotype into a handicap. I feel like too many people in the black community, they make their blackness a handicap. They make their facial features into a handicap. They make their hair texture into some sort of handicap as if, oh, I can't succeed as much as somebody who doesn't have these handicaps. And that's not true. Having African ancestry is not a handicap. Being black doesn't automatically make you a victim. And just because somebody is racist against you or colorist or whatever, you don't have to take in their racism or accept it and make yourself into a victim. You can simply say, fuck you, and move on with your life and continue getting your bags, continue getting your pretty privilege, or, going where you're celebrated, just like how they say in the divestment spaces, right? Go where you're celebrated. So that girl at my job, she was not being celebrated there, so she got out of it because she was surrounded by jealous women who were mad because they were fat and they looked horrible and they were all wrinkly and stuff and like their hair was all gray and stuff. Meanwhile, she was coming in, had 5 kids, yet still had a better body than these ladies. She still had more confidence than these ladies. And so they were mad. So when I talk about the whole concept of privilege stacking, or when I talk about people leveling up, I'm not trying to make it as if only MLS women can do this and we're just so much better than everyone else. No, these principles can be used by anyone at any time. And I hold everybody accountable on this channel. I keep that same energy with everybody. That includes unambiguous, monoracial black people. So what do you guys think? Have you noticed how pretty privileged, unambiguous women who are confident in themselves, they don't wear colorism on their sleeve. They don't wear featureism and texturism on their sleeve. They don't make being a victim their entire personality. Have any of you guys noticed that? Let me know in the comments section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.